This week on Talk of the Town, we spotlight Abbie Lane, who's been a vendor at Tremonton's monthly farmers market. The final one for 2024 is next week. Connie Archibald, with a Citizen's Take, chats with Mayor Holmgren about Main Street improvements and how your voice can be heard. We also have a sports recap as we gear up for the festivities of homecoming at Bear River High. Talk of the Town is made possible by supportive sponsors who love our community. Show your love by supporting them today.
I'm Leslie.
I'm Abbie.
And we run Abbie Lane Jewelry. Abbie started it when she was, how old were you?
In 8th grade.
8th grade. She just graduated from high school. So we've been doing markets, and we make jewelry and permanent jewelry. And
So I've always kind of done little businesses and stuff. How old was I when I started?
She had a lemonade stand when she was 2nd grade that she brought to Heydays.
Yeah.
And then she sold cupcakes at Everything Your Heart Desires for a few years, and
then it was during COVID, I was kind of bored and just wanted something to do. So I started with the string Pura Vida kind of bracelets. I started with those, and it just kind of has grown and changed. I did polymer clay earrings, and then it kind of got too much. I started getting busy with high school and stuff. So I started to kind of change the direction of it so it was easier to keep up with. And now we've got all of this. So we've done it for the whole season. We did it last year and this year, so it's our 2nd year doing it. And we've done other the one at the the Christmas one and the spring one that they do at the fairgrounds, and just kind of other ones around
Heydays,
yeah.
Right now, one of the big trends in the jewelry world is charms. So right now we have a lot of charm necklaces, bracelets. You can customize them. They're all stainless steel, gold plated, so they're good quality. And we have earrings. You can put the charms on your earrings as well, necklaces. And then we also branched out into doing permanent jewelry, which has also been a really fun addition to the business. I've actually been surprised at the age range of people who love all of the jewelry. We've had girls from, little girls 5, 8 years old up to grandmas making charm necklaces and getting matching permanent bracelets and anklets. So the whole scope. It just sounded cute. It kind of rolled off the tongue. It was kind of
my grandpa kind of pulled it from a Beatles song. He
Penny
loves
Lane.
the Beatles, so.
And it just kind of stuck. We just kind of try to follow the trends and evolve with what is currently in style, and we'd love to get a bigger online presence, so we're currently working on that.
Yep.
We have Abbie Lane Jewelry on Instagram, and then AbbieLaneJewelry.com.
Preparations for the revitalization of Main Street has been going on for some time now. The mayor, the city council, steering committee, and business owners have all had plenty to say. Mayor Holmgren is with me today in the Bear River Live studio to tell us more about what's next. And as we put together the revitalization of Main Street, whose opinion do you most want to capture now? And how do you plan to capture that vital insight?
Okay, so we've been looking at asking questions of the merchants and the property owners on Main Street. And we've gotten their input on this, and it was, very valuable input. But as I got thinking about this a little bit, really Main Street is everybody's Main Street. So it's really important that we get everybody's opinion on this. Not just maybe not even just the people in Tremonton, but some of the outlying areas. It was found that even way back in the early days of Tremonton, that Tremonton became the economic hub of the northern Box Elder County area. People in Deweyville and Bothwell and Elwood and even places like Portage and Plymouth, they all use Tremonton as a shopping center. So we wanted to be able to look at not just the merchants, not just the property owners on Main Street, although they are important, That's a very important part of all of this. But we wanted to look at what everybody's opinions are. So we, with help of the steering committee and with help of a firm out of Utah County survey that we're going to be releasing this week, the survey will be released to the citizens in Tremonton and surrounding areas. We'll use social media. We'll use our website. We'll put out signs with QR codes, and people can access the survey that way. We want to get as many people to participate in this survey as possible. And through that, we will be able to get sort of a community, how do they feel about their Main Street area? What would they like to see as the future of our Main Street? Sure. It's interesting, way back in the day, back in 1920, Main Street in Tremonton was not paved. And they had a wet winter, and we got some pictures showing the Main Street area, and it is awful. And you can just imagine these relatively new buildings all along Main Street, and the merchants and people would walk into their buildings with muddy feet and everything, and it must have been awful. But the city leaders back then could see that something had to be done, and they paved that Main Street area. At the cost of about, I think, $80,000 or something like that back then, which would translate into about $1.6 million today. So and this was a town of less than 1,000 people. And so it was kind of, it's interesting to see that they were thinking not just of themselves, but they were looking at Tremonton in the future too. And that's what we're trying to do here.
So this survey, it's going to come out, and everyone's going to have an opportunity to be a part of it. When can we expect to see this survey? Okay,
so the committee has been working on it for several weeks, and it will be released hopefully this week or the first of next week.
We know that there's been a steering committee presented to the city, and they presented to the city council their priorities, and they advised the city to move forward using those priorities. What have you done with the steering committee proposed priorities?
One of the first things we found was that the merchants and the property owners on Main Street really didn't like the trees. The trees were obstructing their signs. They were causing property damage to some of the buildings. And in some cases they were cracking the sidewalk and that kind of thing. So what their plan was, we found from that we wanted to start revitalizing, taking out the trees, and maybe what we do is replace those trees with trees that are more conforming to the type of Main Street that we have. We've got relatively narrow streets, and we got relatively narrow sidewalks. And so what we need is our trees that are more columnar in type. Maybe there's several of them that we can use, and hopefully we can maybe come up with something that works there. Or we may not use any trees and just use greenery like pots and that kind of thing hanging from the street lights, which we'd like to replace. So in order to do all of that, we've got to take up part of the sidewalk, or either part or all of the sidewalk, and replace it with infrastructure. We need water, and we need power in our Main Street, down under the sidewalks and everything, so we can service those street lights and other things along the Main Street area. As far as the rest of the community, we just want to know how you feel. How do you see the vision that sort of we're looking at here, that we can make Tremonton a much better, much more inviting, much more economic area. If we've got a place where people like to come and they like to shop, that's only going to help those people that are the merchants and the property owners, and it'll help all of us.
Tell us what you consider to be the primary benefits of revitalizing Maine.
Well, I use the example of, say a stranger coming into Tremonton for the first time, and they drive into town and they see and I got to thinking, well, what would they really think? When they come into, is it just sort of a town that looks like it's just sort of run down and tired? And what we would like to do is we'd like to revitalize it, make it so that, something as you're driving into town, you're thinking, oh, this is nice. This is something I like to be, this is a place maybe I'd like to invest in. I'd like to come in here with a shop or something like that. The survey itself we'll release it in the next several days, and then it'll be about 3 or 4 weeks we'll have it out there, and then we'll bring it in and start analyzing the results.
And then what would be your timeline moving forward for revitalization?
Yeah, so we want to gather this information. We want to compile the information, get everybody's opinion on it, and then the hope is to we've got lots of plans put together. We've got ideas and everything like that. What we'll do is we'll take this and turn it over to the engineers. What the engineers will do is they'll figure out how much water and power we need to install, and all of those kinds of things, the cost of the lights and cost of the trees and whatever we're going to be putting onto Main Street. They're going to figure all that up. And then what we'll do is through this fall and maybe through the part of the winter, and then in the spring we'll put it out to bid. So we can start, when the construction season starts in the spring, we'll go to work.
Tremonton City does not go into debt. And this has been money that the city has been saving. Tell us a little bit about the financial piece of this endeavor.
Well, okay, so you're right. We don't want to go in debt. We don't want to raise people's taxes to do this. So we've been putting away money for some time and putting it into this RDA account. Mm-hmm. What the hope is that we'll take that money, and we've also received grants for for Midland Square. Mm-hmm. And what we'll do is we'll start putting that money into the revitalization of the Main Street area. It may take us a couple of years. We may do one side of Main Street and then save up our money again and do the other side of Main Street, or we may do it all. It just depends on how much all of this is going to cost, and that kind of thing. So, but the hope is that we don't we don't have to go into more debt to make this happen. But it depends. Maybe the people want to have this done right away, and maybe we do bond on it and then pay it back with sales tax revenue or something like that. But not raising property taxes. That's a area we hope we don't have to go that direction. In fact, I really oppose that idea.
Okay. So how can the citizens of the Valley help with the revitalization process? How can we all help?
Well, let's just be positive about it. Let's look at it and say, yeah, we'd like to make we're proud of our downtown. We want to make it something better. And just try to understand that we're not trying to make things worse. We're trying to make things better. Just like those people back in 1920. They saw that there was a need and they did it, and it wasn't just for them, it was for future generations. That's what we need to look at here. Right. This is for future generations.
We want to make sure that we're part of the good process and the continuous improvement in our city. And so I invite you as citizens to take the survey, give us your honest feedback that the mayor has and the steering committee have put together, and tell us what you know and how you feel.
Obviously this game didn't go as planned, but did you have a goal coming into this game, and what was it?
Yeah, we did have a goal coming in this game, and it was possession based and then just stepping to the ball, so aggression. And I felt like we met that goal at the start of the second half.
Yes, the second half definitely had a very big swing of energy coming into it. I felt like there was a huge shift coming in from the first half to the second half. What was the talk at halftime? How did you guys manage that?
Just that we weren't playing the game that we knew we could play. And we talked a lot about this week that what we're struggling with is just like a culmination of mistakes, and that's kind of like inhibiting us from being successful. And so the talk at halftime was like going in a second half and having the goal of not to get mercy ruled. Like that is their, and at that point, that's in their control. The 7 goals in the past are no longer, and it's a non-issue, right? Because we can't change that. So what can we do moving forward? And I thought that moving forward, we actually did really well, but at that time, it was unrecoverable. So when we got scored on within the first minute, that was probably a big just like energy shifter for us. I think we were not able to recover from that start quick enough. And we just were not able to get our feet underneath us. And it is frustrating when we've had 2 home games in a row where it's like we have not dominated our home field the way that we should and the way that we expect to. And so I think that's the biggest, most frustrating piece today. I'm hoping that we can get our grounding, our feet, and progress, you know. We had some really good practices, and I thought going into this game like we'd be able to show that. I'm hoping that this loss lights another fire under them and we're able to progress farther. We know that Ridgeline's a good team. We know that it's going to be a good game, and like I told the girls, it's whether or not we decide to show up. So I'm hoping the second half of region that we decide to show up each day.
So overall, great game. I thought it was really fun to watch. It was really entertaining. Our Bears they dug deep. They had great defense. What are your overall thoughts about this game?
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. I told them it's how you play these tough teams, and they played them tough. And I just hope that gives them some confidence going in that they're a good team.
Yes, that definitely should give them confidence with us being such a young team and building our program so far, and then playing our leading region team and giving them a run for their money there in that third set. We had a great comeback. I thought your girls definitely showed a real game of grit there in that third set. What do you have to say about that third set?
That third set was awesome, just the determination in their eyes. When Emery came back to serve, you knew she was going to serve in, like she just had it in her. And Kaylin, when she was back serving, those are my little freshmen, like that freshman power pack, right? I mean, she'd serve. Emery's like, I'll go hit this. And they did really well.
Yes, and talking about Emery, she's a freshman coming in. Her and Kaylin both, and on varsity, they're doing so good, helping us build that program from such a young team. But Emery, she did really good today. She had all those serves right there. She had a couple of kills. She had some really great blocks. What do you have to say about her and whatever other players?
Yeah, Emery really, we just told her take line. Well, we told our right side take line and funnel it to Brookie. And Brooke, I mean, she's Brooke. Every game she's Brooke. So I love her consistency. So
yes, Brooke's playing definitely speaks for herself. She does good. She shows out every time. She's an amazing libero. So are there any other players that stuck out to you this game?
This one right here, right? Defense, coverage, serving, passing. Like I said, those freshmen, they were fabulous.
Yes, our freshmen definitely showed out today for our team. They're definitely showing up, they're showing out, they're doing their job, and they're helping represent Bear River so well. Yeah. So leading into Logan in the second half of our region play, what can we expect from our Bear River team?
Oh my goodness, it's always a little tricky during homecoming for focus, so it's mostly like we just got to focus, and all we're trying to do is be better and raise the rope. And so Logan's going to be playing us with some confidence, and we're away. But if we can take this into, I don't think there's a team we can't play with if we play like that.
So, Coach, we knew coming into this game, Ridgeline being the #1 team, that it was going to be rough. What's the good and bad from this game?
Yeah, they're a very tough team. They're #1 for a reason, but I really loved how we got after it on the line of scrimmage. I thought we ran the ball well for the most part. Obviously, a few mistakes kill drives, and protecting the football is just a theme again that we're trying to get corrected with our guys. But yeah, I loved how our defense played. They struggled running the ball as well for the most part, and so we handled our business up front against bigger guys than us, and so I was proud of that, and a few broken plays and key assignment errors, and it's a different game. So.
Yes, indeed. And we talked about the line of scrimmage before the game, and I definitely thought that we showed a game of grit. Coming into that, we were able to get a score on the scoreboard and avoid a shutout. What do you have to say about that?
Younger guys did an awesome job. The Preston stepped up in there and let it drive, and we got some freshmen in there. Bennett Allen was at running back, and that's always a moral victory at the end, so that's a good thing to not get shut out. But we need to be better for 4 quarters, and that's just the bottom line.
Yes, I definitely agree. Okay, so we have homecoming game next week, and we're playing Skyview. What is there to expect from that game?
Another very tough opponent, right? So Skyview is always tough. They're always ready to go. They're always physical, so they match us pretty well. I have no doubt that we could go in there and beat them, but that's up to us. That's up to us cleaning up assignment errors and protecting the football and doing the same things that we've been harping on for a couple weeks. And we got to we got to be able to accept that and be able to fix that, or it's going to be the same result.
Last week is one the Bears would gladly put behind them and look forward to homecoming week. Our broadcast coverage starts off on the road with the Lady Bears volleyball team. They'll be traveling to Westfield on Tuesday, then have some fun on Wednesday for Powder Puff. Then senior night for the Lady Bears soccer team. That'll be on Thursday as they host Skyview. Before we finish off the week with football, who also matches up against the Skyview Bobcats. Come support your Bear River Bears, and if not, we've got you covered right here on Bear River Live.
Next week, we kick off the spooky season. Tune in to see who we feature.